All right, we're good and live. Hello, welcome to 2 o'clock talks. It's always 2 o'clock somewhere, and right now it is 2 o'clock in Dublin, Ireland.
Not far off from London, where it was 2 o'clock last time we streamed.
Yeah, well, in 5 minutes it'll be 2 o'clock, probably further west. Further west.
I mean, you're not wrong.
No.
It sort of always ends up getting 2 o'clock somewhere.
It'll be 2 o'clock somewhere. Today's episode, we are talking more so about the kind of our story between Brennan and myself, and
Sort of the story of why we decided to talk to each other with a microphone present.
yeah, between the two of us. So what I have going on my screen right now is I have a slideshow of some of our pictures that we have together. Turn it down.
Slow
it down. I don't even know how to do that.
Okay, then never mind.
Hang on,
Bad suggestion.
Slideshow. Oops. I don't want that. Maybe. I don't even.
See, if we had video editing software, this part would get edited out for YouTube.
Yeah.
But because we don't, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, you know what? It's fine. We'll talk. There's not that many pictures. They go through fast enough.
Yeah.
If you want to see a certain picture more often than another one, I'm pretty sure you have the option to pause the stream, or it'll come around again.
Or if you don't want to see them, we completely understand.
Yeah, dude, just pull up a new tab. You can still probably hear us. Most of these pictures are from when we were taking our senior trip, where we went to Iowa and then Missouri and then Kansas.
It was a wonderful experience filled with way too much car rides.
It was a very long car ride.
Annoying hotels.
Very annoying
and
hotels.
Interesting scenery.
Yeah. I mean, for as awful as the car ride was, I still want to go back on that trip.
No, the car ride wasn't terrible.
Definitely wasn't bad enough to warrant not going again.
100%. Only this time, more money and
more time spent there.
And slightly better planning.
Yeah, a little bit more better planning.
You see, the real big brain play would be to get a camping spot in Hannibal.
Yeah, we
camp
had the
out
most
for
fun.
a week.
We had the most fun in Hannibal, and there was so much to do in Hannibal, and we didn't get to do it all. So,
easily, if I could pick one place, it'd be go back, so just drive straight to Hannibal,
and then just
camp out for a week, do everything in that town,
yep,
and then leave.
If
we brought together the same amount of money as we did for the last trip.
Yeah, I think skipping the 2 and then the money we'd save in gas would also. I think it would probably.
We'd be able to do everything in that town.
Yeah, we should stop talking about the trip. We can come back to the trip, but let's have a more of a linear story about what we have wanting to talk about. So I think obviously any story should start from the beginning.
The very beginning. You don't even remember the very beginning. I'm the one that has to bring that back up.
Okay, you bring up the very beginning.
Okay, so 7th grade. Ooh, not even pre-algebra. We were in 7th grade math.
Yes. Okay. I remember now.
I had this crazy fool.
That's me.
And our friend Sam were at a table.
We were at a table. Mr. Taylor.
Wonderful teacher.
I loved him.
Goofy man. Very goofy man.
He was goofy. But he was a good teacher.
He's a good teacher. I specifically remember you two copying my assignments for pretty much the entirety of the year.
Pretty much. Sam and I knew each other before 7th grade, so we kind of knew each other. And you were...
And I knew no one.
Right.
I'd only been there for about half a year.
Yep. So it was pretty great. So yeah, I would have started at high school. Yeah, so I'm glad that you brought it up, that 7th grade math.
So there's that one bit of 7th grade math, and then complete ignorance through all of 8th grade.
Yeah, because we never saw each other after 7th grade math.
Yeah, and then freshman year came around. Freshman year sort of dodged you. Sophomore year when things really kicked off.
Yeah, because we both joined theater pretty heavily.
Yeah. It really started in
it would have
drama class.
Right. Yes, we you and Zach knew each other.
Yes,
and then,
I knew Zach from basketball.
Right, and then I knew Zach from we were just
Friends in middle school.
In middle school. So then I met you.
Yeah, friends. I didn't have any of those.
Yeah, and then I met you through Zach like before sophomore year started, and that's when we all decided to take drama together, and that's when we really all became friends, was sophomore year. Yeah.
You guys jogged me out to Johnny Grable's and were like, "You're doing this now," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Run into trees, have fun.
That's true. That was, man,
pretty much initiation into the friend group.
That was pretty much it. We kind of came up with our own game. I'm not going to get into the details because
that's
like a
for another day.
That's like a sacred ritual almost. Yeah. But yeah, so like, you know, we had this kind of fun game that we like to play, and then yeah, when you play that game, that kind of like really was cementing yourself into a group.
We hid in that 7-foot hole in the ground for like an hour.
A big old tree stump that had been uprooted, so there was just this giant hole, and I'm just like, that's the hiding spot. We're gonna camp out there.
Yeah, and it was perfect.
It was. We just kind of hung out and talked. And I think that's what like really. Like,
well, you spend enough time in a hole with someone, and you just get to know them on a whole nother level.
Yeah, you put two guys in a hole together, they'll bond. Because they have to.
If you don't bond, that's just an hour of awkward silence that you do not need.
Yeah. So, like, you know, if you're in a hole, make the most of it.
Make the most of it. Conversate. Get to know your hole, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. A lot of them, yeah. So these photos are basically either drama trip, drama class, or drama club, or formal events like prom. Well, yeah. Like, yeah, you were gonna say something.
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah, that's about it. It's drama and trip.
Drama, yeah.
That was essentially all of our high school.
Yeah, we didn't really take photos. There's a couple ones where we were hanging out, just like buddies. I think there's like one of them. Brendan and I don't really like take pictures together outside of like things happening.
I'm not a huge social media person. I don't use my phone for much other than iFunny, YouTube, and calling and texting.
Right.
And so whipping out my phone to take a selfie to commemorate a moment isn't my sort of thing. So the only times I'm pictured is when someone has taken a picture of me.
Yep.
Or have asked me to be in a picture.
Right. So, like, yeah, that's kind of like how it just worked out, which is okay. Like, you know, we have events going on. I think that makes it like more special that you'll be able to recall the event easier. I'd even think. So we'll just keep going with the story. We were at drama class just after we had like fully solidly became friends. Yeah. So and then so we start so the beginning of the year was drama 1 class.
Yes.
So
and then what play was it sophomore year that we did?
The beginning of sophomore year, we did Fair Exchange. Fair Exchange was the play that we did.
That cemented our
sophomore year.
Oh, shoot, what am I thinking? Typecasts.
Yes, okay. I'll say it, yeah. That first year, for sure, we were typecasted.
Yeah, well, no, that was what brought together what we were typecast as. Because she had no idea what we were like. And so...
It was our first roles.
And then
like ever.
Every role we got after that was just pretty much...
some type of variation until like we hit senior year. Then when we hit senior year,
then
completely different. It was like 100% of a change.
Mm-hmm. So until then, you got to play the
some type of authority figure,
energetic authority.
Yep.
Jumping around, bouncing.
Yep.
And I got the goofy, creepy, weird person. I was either a dumb airhead, creepy guy, just some sort of strange oddity.
Yes.
Because on stage, I just that's just sort of I clearly stand out as different.
Right. And you know, when you're as tall as you are, you're kind of a lanky figure.
Yeah.
So you stick out. So I think just like, you know, it kind of adds to the effect that Mrs. Blashik wanted. Then, so we started sophomore year in that, and that was more so like acting. And then when we were at the tail end of our sophomore year, that's when we hit drama 2.
We had the one act that year that we were both in.
Yes, because That was the only one act I actually have ever been in, because I directed the other two.
You should never eat your heroes.
And that was one that we didn't write.
Yes.
Yeah, because in drama 2, we
learned how to write plays.
Yeah, and then Mrs. Blashik, who was our teacher and the lady in charge of the drama club, basically came at us. It was just like, hey, you want to take your assignment that was like a 15-minute one act, and he's like, do you want to turn that into a 45-minute one?
And we subsequently looked at each other, shrugged,
and went, yeah, all right, yeah. So we did that.
The first one was,
well, okay, so our assignment, which was like originally like a 12-minute play.
Perdistory?
No, we call well,
Perdistory
was what we were jogging around with, but then we ended up calling it
The Case of Sunshine Way.
The Case of Sunshine. Thank you.
Way.
The Case of Sunshine Way. Thank you. So then when we went to revise it,
and
revise it again and again, and make it 45 minutes. That's when we decided to change the name.
Didn't we end up clocking 39.12 for the full time for that one?
Yeah.
Or somewhere.
We never. I don't think there was ever a time where we hit over 40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they told us 45 was the limit, and we never went over.
And we half acted it when we were writing it, and we were hitting 42 when we were reading it in your basement when we were writing it,
which was an experience because.
Yeah.
What we should have done was spent the whole summer going to multiple meetings of writing sessions.
Yes.
But what we actually ended up doing for that was
just...
we met twice beforehand.
Yeah.
Wrote maybe 6 or 7 lines.
Yep.
Came up with 3 or 4 characters.
Yep.
And then Miss Blashik was like, hey, I need a rough draft in a week. And we looked at our 3 or 4 lines and 4 characters and went... Okay, yeah.
Then, we're just like, we'll get that. We can meet that deadline.
And so we spent 24 hours in a nonstop writing session in my bedroom.
Yeah, that was... Well, there's actually a picture in the slideshow somewhere. We did take
IHOP?
We did take a break to go to IHOP. It was like 3 a.m. We went and got pancakes just because by that time it was 3 a.m.
And coffee was the main thing we were hunting for. We probably, shot through 3 full pots of coffee.
I think so. That waitress was like, she was on it. She knew what we were after.
Like, we got there, we're like, we need pancakes, bacon, and coffee.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And she did not disappoint.
She did not question. She just provided. So that was our first one, and then we entitled it Murder of Moroni.
Which was hoot.
That one was really fun to do.
It was fun. It was high energy. And then Miss Blashik had left because of baby.
Yeah, she had some she was supposed to be there for the entire thing because her baby wasn't due until after the performance at
State.
Quite a
bit afterwards.
Right, but she wouldn't have been at State though.
Yes.
But that was fine, but she was supposed to be there throughout the entire...
That way, a couple of juniors wouldn't be leading the play.
Because we all decided that we wanted to direct it as well.
Instead of acting in it.
Yes, because
Well, instead of auditioning for it.
Right, because we would have auditioned to act in it. We decided we wanted to direct it because
Under
that was
the supervision of Mrs. Blashik.
Because that was our baby. We wrote that sucker in a total of, however...
Yeah, we wanted it to go exactly the way
we had envisioned it in that basement. So we were just like, we have to direct it, or else it's... I'm sure it would have been fine.
Oh, no, it would have been more than fine.
We just blew it out of our heads.
Oh, yeah.
And
in fact, it probably would have been better.
I don't think so. I think it went exactly how it was supposed to be.
It went exactly how we thought it would. But someone with more experience and a better mindset probably could have put it.
Yeah.
But no, it was great. We had a ton of fun. We were supposed to have help from other faculty members. They didn't show up and help.
It wasn't that, because, there was a lot of creative input.
creative in large quotations.
Yeah, it was basic. It wasn't really creative input. It was more creative.
Hey, why are you guys doing that?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
It'll look better if you do this. Which most of it, like, I can't even remember half of it. I just remember the one thing that we did, which I think was actually...
Oh, no, it was a great idea.
It was a good idea. So I'm glad he kind of told us into doing that.
Yeah. But I said, that went really well.
It did.
Didn't end up getting any awards, but we got a ton of acting awards for our
bunch
actors
of acting
who did
awards.
So amazing.
Well. We even with our acting awards, there was a couple of people that we were kind of reluctant about in the beginning, and then through the hard work,
just did amazing.
Completely. Oh my goodness. We were like right away from the beginning of it, we're just like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to work around this. It's gonna be a huge hassle. We're just gonna have to keep telling and telling.
A lot of it was exactly that. It was a huge hassle. We did have to write them. Yeah. And they didn't want to listen to us because we weren't figures of authority. We were their classmates.
Yeah, that's true. But then, as it got closer, and since Mrs. Blushik wasn't there, and we were basically in charge. I think probably about the halfway point, people were just like,
"Oh yeah, we got to take this a little bit more seriously."
Because it's coming up faster. This is going to be the closest thing to authority that we're going to get. And then the hard work, dedication, listening, and then they just
bing bang boom,
and then
ended up exactly what we wanted.
It was so phenomenally perfect.
All right.
And then at the end of that, remember, we were approached again saying, hey, this didn't suck. You guys want to write it again?
And you're like, sure. But the one thing was, this time when you write it, take into consideration what the judges told you.
Yeah.
And essentially what the judges told us was when it was performed, it was just constant high energy. There was no low spots.
Right.
In their opinion.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. Our play, number one, was a farce. It had a bunch of goofy characters, and it had a ridiculous storyline. There was no room for, serious moments.
It was goofy, and it was funny.
Yeah.
And that's what it's supposed to be. It wasn't a dramedy. Remember that. That comes into play later. It was, in fact, a high-energy comedy.
Right.
It was supposed to keep you awake, keep you interested, keep you locked in. And I would be willing to bet anyone who watched that would be not able to turn away. Yeah. Because there was so much going on.
There was.
All the time.
And we made sure of that there was always something going on and always something to catch your eye or something that was happening.
So someone was running that way. Someone was running this way.
Whether it was on the page or just the way that it happened to be.
It was a go, go, go show.
For sure. So taking into consideration that the judges didn't want a go, 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 go show, we decided when we wrote it, the next one.
Oh wait, before we get into that,
we'll slow down.
We had to come up with something that had highs and lows.
Yes.
Originally, we thought, let's give a drama a shot, because the three of us were known to be very funny people. We
completely forgot to mention that Zach was also a writer.
Oh yes, we did not do this alone.
It was Brendan, myself, and then Zach Lopez. He was a classmate. We mentioned him earlier that you knew him through basketball.
Yep.
I knew him in middle school. Zach's on screen now.
We were the trio. As you can see, he's in almost every single one of these photos because we were a trio.
The trio
we did
throughout.
Not split up ever.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So keep that in mind when we say we wrote this. We mean
Zach as well, along with the two of us.
We do not want to take credit away from him. He did an amazing job, helped out as much as either of us did. It was teamwork all the way around.
True.
Now, considering that, back to where we were talking, coming up with ideas.
Yes.
We thought plots.
Yep.
So one thing I suggested during junior testing is there's a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
So let's think of plot ideas.
Yep.
And our first meeting for plot ideas in the lunchroom after the third day of testing, I showed up with a list of 15 to 20 ideas.
Yep.
And if I remember correctly, neither of you thought of a single one.
I didn't know what to think of.
All it was just think of something that might be okay.
Yeah, well, to be fair.
If you think of it,
when
I went through that list, immediately goes, no, terrible, awful. What are you doing?
So the ideas that you gave us were good, but then like we immediately had to think, how are we gonna write it?
Oh yeah, no.
How are we gonna do it technically?
Yeah,
we were berating you and saying your ideas were stupid because we wanted to do a realistic show.
This was supposed to be spitballing, where you say something and I say something.
Yeah.
But being that there were no other spitballs, it was me throwing burning trash at you guys and you batting it away.
True. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that.
At the end of that,
your last 5 ideas. Yeah. That's when we realized we're running out of Brendan's ideas. Let's actually start returning spitballs.
And so, at the end of that session, we didn't really have anything great.
Solid. We had
the one thing that did stick out was a create your own adventure story.
Yes, and that's what we were like. We were in love with that idea.
It was phenomenal. And after we got up with that, we didn't mention the play again for a month. It was fast forward to mid-June.
Yep.
We're like, okay, guys, we can't wait to the last minute this time
to do it again. We're not gonna do that.
What we do is we get in this inflatable raft.
Yes.
And we row out into the middle of the lake.
Yep.
And we just spitball.
Yep.
And we're chatting.
We called it creative meetings.
Yes. And we talked, and we had some ideas. We row back in.
Yep.
Fast forward to 2 weeks later. Still haven't done anything.
Yep. We took another brainstorming trip.
Yeah, so we drove around.
Yep, in your car.
I set up my little
GoPro.
Discount GoPro.
Yeah,
Chinese off-brand GoPro. And what we do is we drive to the town that I spent from when I was born through 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
We drive there, and we're driving around, we're spitballing, and we come up with this amazing story, this huge plot line, a couple of characters, one in particular character that we'll mention here in a bit.
Yeah.
But we go through this whole big thing, and then as we're going back, we start joking about this character, which was called
Old Jeff.
Old Jeff. We said that he was like an old-timey prospect miner. Just sort of like an old man lost in the woods, living in a cave, lost his mind 50 years ago.
Yeah, he would just come in at random points throughout our create your own adventure thing, and he'd just basically be almost a voice of reason in disguise.
Yes, that was his whole point. He was supposed to be something for the main character, but from a stance to where it was no reason for that main character to be there.
Right.
Well, for him to be there.
Yeah.
And so we take that idea.
Yep. And
we wrap it up with a pretty bow tie, ready to get to work on. Fast forward another 2 weeks. Miss Blashett goes, hey, I want a meeting, and I want characters and plot.
Yeah, she's I want to hear what your idea is, and I want to hear your plan for writing it. Mm-hmm. And we all looked at each other and was like, we're supposed to have a plan for writing it?
Yeah, and so we get back together, have a meeting in my room,
mm-hmm.
and then we scrap that whole idea and start from scratch.
We bought a marker board.
Then went and bought a marker board.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because we scrapped it.
Because we were just thinking about how we were going to write it. We were just all right, and we'll have the audience pick it. And then we're just well, number one, we're timed.
Yeah. Well, it was going to be a fake audience pick it.
Right.
It was going to be, there was options, but we only write one way.
Yeah. And so, no matter what, it was one cohesive story. So, because we didn't want to write, 9 different storylines.
Yeah, no, why would we do that? That's stupid.
Yeah. But then, we were just thinking of it, just having to stop and break every single time.
All the costumes
that would go into it, the set changes,
the amount of characters we need.
Yeah, exactly.
There was just too much. We set our ambitions too high for a 45-minute one act,
especially
on a low budget. Written and directed
by 3 punks who think that they were all pro because they
think that they might be able to do it
because they wrote it once before. So yeah, we did scrap it. And then we were just we need to visualize this a little bit better. So we went out to Hobby Lobby, I believe, is where we bought that marker board.
Which is now currently in your dorm room, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. It is in my dorm room. Right now it has just nonsense writing on it.
That's all it's ever had on it is nonsense writing.
Yeah, I meant to like actually utilize it for good ideas, but then it never happened that way. So then we got that marker board, and we kept playing around with ideas, and then eventually we came on to the. I completely lost my train of thought. Where was I going?
I don't know. I was expecting you to finish that thought.
So we were talking about the marker board. We were writing down ideas.
At that point, we got to where we thought that we should do what in our minds we called a dramedy.
Oh, yes.
So that's what we started with. We needed something that could both make you cry and make you chuckle pretty hard.
Yeah, like our end goal was to make you cry, whether it be from emotions or you were laughing so hard.
And we thought of this. We used a certain aspect from an old idea of mine, which was following a main character who was going around fixing people's problems.
Right, yeah.
In order to discover that he needed to fix himself.
Right.
And we threw a big old whoop-de spin on that.
Yeah.
And made him be going through the
DABDA process of grieving. So
denial,
thank you. Anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. Yeah.
And so we had him bounce back and forth between the real world with his family.
Yep.
And the
we'll call it the DABDA world.
The DABDA world, where each one of those emotions had a human counterpart.
Yeah.
Well, a human representation, and each one of those characters fit with one of the family members. It was a very intricate web that we came up with by creating all of the DABDA characters.
Yep.
Then putting up all of the human characters.
Yeah, well, I think it was at first.
Yeah, there was no human characters at first.
And then we just we looked at the board. We had a total of 6 characters, and we were just like, well, we could take upwards to
15.
15 people. So let's think logically. We have 6 characters. We're supposed to be taking a lot more.
Yeah.
So let's write in some other characters.
Which took way longer than it should have. We could not come up with people.
For some reason, our immediate response was oh, we need other characters that have to interact with the main character. Let's do a family. For some reason, it took us an hour to
put 1 and 2 together.
To make 3 and just go hey, family members are around when you're going through a tough time. But we eventually got there. We decided to do an aunt and an uncle,
a mom and dad,
a grandpa, and then a family friend.
Yes. Well, it was
his
best
childhood friend. Yeah.
Yes.
His best friend, who is basically a part of the family.
Yes.
Because you know how best
he'd been
friends
together
work.
forever. So
yeah.
And so from there, we wrote the story of how he lost someone and then how he had to go through the process.
Right. And then we tried to make it on the nose as possible. We gave each one of denial was named Daniel.
Yes, it was
anger Andy.
Bargaining was Barbara.
Depression was Dempsey.
Yep. We could not figure out a depression name.
It was so hard to come up with a name that would be fitting for someone who is embodying depression and also began with the letter D.
Yes.
And then,
so
the way that
we went to a baby name making website.
We did go to a baby website.
And just scrolled through the D's.
We just went through the D's and we just literally
we had to get gender neutral names.
Yeah, we went
because we didn't know if it was going to be a boy actor or a girl actor.
That's right.
Because we made almost all the roles non-gender specific.
Because we wanted to.
Yes.
Only just the 2 of them we did. We know Daniel would be a male.
Yes.
Because Daniel and denial sound so similar. We couldn't let that slide. And then Barbara and bargaining, again, those 2 words are so similar.
Yes, and because of the fact that we wanted Barbara be with the aunt.
Yes, that's true.
And we wanted Daniel to be with the uncle.
Yeah.
So that's why we did those were a specific boy and girl because they had to connect with the aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
So other than that, it was very loosey goosey.
I really wish we would have taken a picture of this whiteboard because it was like a spider web. Like people would have thought we were insane because we had the circles going to
bad conspiracy theory.
Yeah, exactly. It's like circles to here. It's just like it's all connected.
Which was probably more effort than we needed to put into it, but it was really. The finished product was
it paid off so well.
It was a beautifully written play.
Yeah.
It was beautifully performed by our cast.
Yeah.
It brought people to tears. It brought us to tears seeing it come to life. The compliments that we got, that our actors got, it was amazing.
It was, and honestly, it was probably one of the most humbling experiences I've had in my life.
100%.
It was so nice.
And then there was all of the disasters that happened.
Oh boy, do we? Okay, yeah, let's get into it. There was a lot.
We lost the main character and had to recast him. So we took the actor.
It was really close to our public performance.
It was the day before.
2 days before, because we performed that. We found out that Friday, and then
switched it on Monday,
and then Tuesday.
No, we found out on Monday.
Found out on Monday.
Had Tuesday morning practice, Tuesday evening practice, Wednesday morning practice,
and then Wednesday night was that performance for the public.
Yep. And so what we did was we moved Zach, who had decided to audition. He had gotten the role of Daniel
at first,
and we moved him to Oscar, who's the main character,
who had to drop out, unfortunately.
Yeah, which was a shame. He was doing amazing.
He was. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna talk about it real quick. I'm not gonna name names, but his audition was so beautiful. It was very moving. I got chills.
Yeah, I mean, he did it in such a way to where it,
no one else. We thought we were just we were just sure, we could see other people, but then he gave a monologue that we used for our audition piece, and then
he just murdered that monologue.
I'm just rock solid. That's it. I don't see anyone else because no one else did it as well in the audition. And then we get to practice, and then he just lost it all. And I was just buddy, what is going on?
The stage just totally unvamped him.
I don't even know what it was. That's just how it was.
So we worked and built it back up to where he had started.
Oh my gosh, and he was doing so well.
And everyone was nailing their roles in every single aspect.
Yeah,
they were all just killing it.
They were putting in time afterwards too. They were coming up and they were just hey, do you think this would be a better way to do it? And I'm just hey, give it a try. If it feels right, do it. I'll tell you how it looks.
The week before performance, we also rewrote the entirety of Dempsey's scene.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, we'll get to that in a second.
Yep, I just remembered that.
Yeah.
So back on the switching of the main characters.
Yeah, he was. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad about it because he was putting in work. He and I and Mrs. Blashik stayed afterwards for an extra 40 minutes just working on that monologue because he was struggling with it a little bit and he was putting in that work. He's just how do you want me to do it? I'm just we'll pick a point.
Yeah.
We'll just, oh my goodness.
And so then it happens. We switch over. Max and I discussed with one another because the only ones that would be able to fill that spot was someone who knew the script really well. There's no way we could have had someone from outside the play step in.
Right.
And so we discussed, and I took that role.
Yeah, because
which ended up.
I think it worked out even better because we talked about it for a little bit, and we were we both would have done fine with the lines.
Oh, 100%.
But then we had to think of it from a technical aspect, and we had a moment where Oscar and Daniel kind of face off, and you are so much taller than Zach.
So much taller.
So then from a technical aspect, we were just because of this one moment, we think it'll be better because you would tower over him. So
and the best part about that scenario though was when we went to the state competition.
Yes.
My set for Daniel involved a stack of burning wood, fake burning wood, and a lawn chair.
Yes.
And there was a part where I was supposed to just plop down into this lawn chair. And when I did that, the chair broke and a screw shot across the stage.
Oh, people rioted at that.
They lost their minds. And our two main actors almost broke character because they heard it and they had to continue what they were saying, pause and slowly turn towards me. They were supposed to do this when I was just sitting there sort of mumbling to myself, and it was supposed to be funny because I looked like I was crazy.
Right.
But then it got to the point where it was me mumbling to myself, angry because I just broke my chair. And they turn around just about dropping down and laughing. They look at me.
It was hilarious.
It was so funny. I would kill to see a video of it.
Oh my god. Okay, like everyone in the audience was just like gut busters laughing, and then I can almost guarantee you anyone that wasn't an audience member and knew how that scene was supposed to go went like, oh my gosh, no. Oh no.
And so that happened. We were so close to getting a superior on that play. We didn't.
You want to go into the reviews, or you want to come back?
No, we'll just leave that. We honestly could have a whole episode about that play, but again, this was just the backstory of us and why we started this. So we can fast forward. We've got a whole nother year's worth of performances.
We didn't even touch junior year performances at all.
There wasn't a whole lot that went on junior year.
Oh, okay.
There's Dead Man's Cell Phone,
which was really weird for Watertown High School.
Yeah,
where they were known for doing comedies. And then
that was a comedy that we turned into a drama.
Was it really?
Yeah, that was supposed to be a comedy. Oh. And Ms. Blachik decided
to take it with the drama route because the year previous, Fair Exchange was supposed to be a drama, and then we played that as a comedy. Interesting.
But I wasn't involved with that production. I didn't get cast. There was only 2 guy roles for that whole show.
There was. And then just like 5 ensemble. So, it was really...
And so fast forward to the spring play. Neither of us were in that. That was a musical.
Yep. No, it wasn't. Junior was 3-1 acts. Student directed.
And I decided to work after school instead of doing that because I wasn't very interested in doing 3-1 acts. Yeah. Which is a shame because if I'd have done that, maybe I'd have had more drama points. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah. Drama points are basically just kind of like little, I don't even know what to call them. Just like little...
We can get into that
in a second.
Time.
Yeah.
So we went to those 1 acts. They turned out interesting. They were fun to watch.
Yeah.
They looked like they were fun to perform in, but again, I wasn't a part of that experience at all.
Right.
Fast forward to the fall, prior to us doing that 1 act, we did Leaving Iowa, which is the play.
The love letter to my heart.
This is what we based that trip that we were talking about around, which you see in over half the slideshow. Absolutely wonderful production.
Yeah. Just
it was just so much fun to be a part of.
It's such a cute play. Like I'm sure there's somewhere online where you can either read the script or watch it. Mm-hmm. I'd recommend it.
100%.
If you just see it like somewhere in your community theater and it's 30 minutes away, go buy a ticket. I love that show so much.
It's just a nice show.
It's so cute.
It's heartwarming.
Yeah. Okay, so we should describe the play. So what Leaving Iowa is, it's the retelling of every summer family vacation you've ever had. Mm-hmm. So the main character, Don, he recounts the stories of his dad, his mom, himself, and his sister going on a summer trip. And the summer trip is like very stereotypical every trip ever. It's just
it's the trip that dad chose that... Oh, the family's gonna love this.
Yeah, it's just like, like when everyone hears summer vacations, like people are just like, oh yeah, I went to Six Flags over the summer. Oh, I went to camp, and then you're just like, I just went on a family trip to like.
I went on a road trip.
I went on a road trip with my family, and like that's essentially.
Hannibal, Missouri.
Yeah, that's essentially what the play is just that trip.
But the reason he's recounting this is because his father passed away.
Yeah, had passed away,
and he's bringing his father's ashes to
what
at first
it was supposed to be his grandma's okay,
so his father's childhood home is where he was bringing it to originally
to spread his ashes, and then that doesn't work out. It just doesn't work out, and then the rest of the play is trying to find out where to spread his ashes. Mm-hmm. And it's so cute because like it goes back and forth between Don going through this road trip with his dad's ashes and then cutting back to when Don was a child. Yes. It's such a cute play. I love it so much.
So much fun.
And that's why we based our trip off of it, because we're just like, because it has two places that we weren't from. Like, the family in the play is from Iowa. Winterset, Iowa.
Yes, Winterset, Iowa.
Winterset, Iowa. And
home
then,
of John Wayne.
Yep, home of the Duke. And then they vacation to Hannibal, Missouri. So we decided to go to
Winterset, Iowa. So we started Winterset.
And then we went to Hannibal after Winterset.
Yes.
And then we kind of took like
a little bit of a detour.
Yeah,
after.
we took a couple of stops along the way as well. Okay, so in Winterset there wasn't much, like lodging wise. So we went to Des Moines. So we spent time there, and we did a little bit there as well. And then, was it leaving Missouri that we stopped in St. Louis?
Yes.
Or was okay? So when we were
after Hannibal.
Yes, when we were leaving Hannibal, we stopped in St. Louis and hit the Arch.
Which, I mean, we were that close. We had to see it.
Yeah.
None of us had seen it before.
Right. None of us had been there. So like, well, I like we've driven past the Arch, but like none of us actually
seen and gone into the Arch.
Yeah, so we did we basically did the entire St. Louis Arch experience. So we did the riverboat tours that they do,
which was really fun.
Which was great.
Like, it was a much more fun experience just laying back in the chair. It was so nice out.
Yeah, it was. Oh my goodness, it was really warm, but it was really nice because like once you got out on the lake, there
was the nice breeze.
Not the lake, but the river. And then, okay. So we were just in Hannibal, which is the birthplace of Mark Twain.
Yes.
Tom Sawyer. And then the name of our riverboat was Tom Sawyer.
So we fangirled over that.
Yeah, so we thought we were just like...
There's actually a picture, I think, in the slideshow of us standing in front of...
It'll be either in front of the Arch or...
Don't we have one in front of the boat? I think we have one. No, it's the four of us standing right before we get on the boat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the one that, they sit you down and take the picture. I actually have that. That is framed, and it is hanging in my house.
I have that in a box in my house under the stairs.
Very nice. And then the other one that we have is... So, what a lot of tourist traps, so to call them, do is they'll take your picture... And it's it's a historic place, even though most people bring their own cameras. They'll take your picture and they're just you can find it in the gift shop. It's only $20 for one picture.
Oh yeah, this was great. And so we went over. None of us really wanted to buy it.
Yeah, no.
But we saw it.
It was wow. It turned out to be a really nice picture. It was a
great picture.
And they put on some detailing on it. It was basically a Snapchat filter, but it was very beautiful.
So we figured,
and it came in a
little folder,
and that folder had a St. Louis at night picture, and it looked really cool.
And so we figured, why not get one? And we saw that was $20, and we wanted to get two.
$20, yeah, $20 for one.
And we wanted two, and so we went up, saw that, and then decided, that's too steep of a price. And the lady behind the table goes, "I'll give you both of them for the price of one."
And we were just like, well, hot darn.
You got us.
You got a deal, lady.
You swindled $20 for two 20-cent pictures.
Yeah, basically. But, I'd say it's worth it. I'm glad that we had the photo. I'm glad if we would have left it behind, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have done it, but I'm glad we do have it.
Yeah, it's nice to have.
And, we had set money aside to, just... Because we were kids on a summer trip. Yeah. We knew we were going and blowing money left and right.
I budgeted that class for my personal finance class.
Yeah, okay,
so it was fully budgeted out in every aspect.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to have to rewind again because I want to talk about that a little bit because that's actually a really interesting story. So
we should have had a plot line to follow instead of fast-forwarding and rewinding.
Yeah. We should have gotten the marker board out.
The marker board. We needed the marker board.
You know what? This will go on YouTube eventually. Someone will grab a marker board. We'll just put it in order, and then they can draw the lines how they see fit. So anyway, shortly after leaving Iowa, we had hit the midpoint of the year, I'm going to say. Because it was leaving Iowa, it was late fall.
Yeah.
So then, we hit the midpoint of the year, and we were about to graduate.
Yes.
At the end of that year is when we would have graduated. And so we were thinking, hey, let's all get together after we graduate. Let's just go on a good old-fashioned road trip. So then we were talking about Valley Fair at first. We were just thinking, like, hey, let's just go spend a weekend at Valley Fair, hit all the rides, camp out, whatever.
Which would have been
lovely. Would have been
much
fine.
Cheaper and so much less time in a car.
Yeah.
But it does not even compare to the experience.
So, like, and that's, like, the thing about it, too. Is, like, so we were just like, yeah, okay, we'll do Valley Fair. We'll just talk about it later. It's not that big of a deal. And then, like, we were getting back into the swing of the one act, so drama club became a really important thing again. And then I was just like, man, I love leaving Iowa. And then I just, like, I thought about it for a bit, and then it kind of, like, clicked. And I'm just like,
it started as more of a joke than anything.
It did start as a joke. I'm just like, it's just like, what do you guys want to do it? And I'm just like, I had the Leaving Iowa script, and I just pointed right at it. I was like, Leaving Iowa. Let's go to Iowa. Let's go to Missouri.
How about we go to Hannibal, Missouri?
Yeah, and then, because that's a line in the play, is like, Hannibal, Missouri. And it's like, why don't we go to Hannibal? And then, like, he was like, yeah. And then we thought about it for a second. It's just like, well, why don't we just do the? Why don't we? Why don't we just go do the?
It's a very set out plan. Like,
it's like, and then like I didn't Google Maps, and it kind of was like a straight
triangle,
essentially,
with a wanky corner because of St. Louis.
Yeah, because of St. Louis. But like, you know what? Then we like talked about it a little bit, and we were just like, why don't we just relive this play? We all love this play so much. It's just like, why don't we just go out and do it? So then like. We talked about it for a little bit, and then we were just like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And then, so, we started talking about it a little bit, and we kind of lost steam about it, I think, for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we were just like, we got caught up with the writing and directing.
And then, like closer towards, for a little bit, we were just like, maybe we should just do Valley Fair. It'll be simpler. We don't have to plan anything.
But then, at the end of third quarter of that year, in my class, it was like, well, you got to budget out a made-up family vacation. And that sparked in my head, just like, hey, I can plan out this. Because the requirements for that project were you have to plan out every aspect. Food, travel, lodging, activities, full-day itineraries for each place you stop at, drive times, gas, the fuel efficiency of your vehicle.
Yeah.
Like, you had to plan out every single tiny detail. And I was like, well, if I'm getting graded, I can just do that.
Yeah, you're just like, you know what? Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. And so we did that. We planned it out thoroughly. And it was perfect. We all had plenty of money for activities. We had plenty of money for food.
It ended up being a lot cheaper than we originally thought.
Oh.
I think that was another reason. We were just like, it's going to probably be expensive because, like, you know, we have to go through, like, 3 different states. And it's like, you know, everything's going to cost money, yada, yada, yada. And then you budget it out. You're just like, We were all just like,
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so then we were just like, well, maybe.
Yes.
So then we talked about it a little bit more, and then we were just like, yeah, okay, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Like, fourth quarter started. You had just finished that project.
Then we didn't talk about it until about the week before.
Yeah, about the week before graduation. 2 weeks before, maybe.
Yeah, we got all of our money set aside.
Yep.
We planned out the days.
Yep.
Because it had to be in a specific time because 2 of the people on the trip had to go on the trip to Europe.
Just one. I was the only one.
Oh, yeah.
Zach had basic training.
Basic training, that's it. So,
but that was later in June.
So we couldn't do it after the Europe trip because of Zach. We couldn't do it
like there was
soon, like before. There's a specific time we had to do it before you went and before Zach went.
Yeah. So we were like trying to find that sweet little spot, and it was literally the day after graduation.
Yeah, so we had one set of graduation parties, the next set of graduation parties, and then we drove to Iowa. And we did not call and make reservations for hotels until the night before. And we called each of them and asked if 18-year-olds could check in. Because
a lot of places you have to be 21.
Yes.
So we had to double check.
We called, we looked on the website, and we got the okays.
And through the site we booked it through.
And we made the reservations. And then when we go to the places, we shouldn't get too much into this. Like, we could have a whole video dedicated to the Leaving Iowa trip.
Yeah, we could. We should, too.
We should. Let us know. Leave comments here in either the chat on YouTube. Tweet at us if you want to hear more about that. Because we're at 49 minutes already.
And we didn't even... And we're not even in college yet.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to college. So... Let us know if you want to hear more about the trip.
We're glad to go into
Let us know if you want to hear more about any of our plays or our drama club experience in high school. Or really anything else that you want us to talk about. Just tweet at us, comment, message if you know us individually. Shoot us a text. I mean...
You probably do.
All of you do, let's be honest. There's no one here that doesn't know us.
Yeah. But that's not that popular yet. We're growing.
We're growing. It's all right. But no, let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about. There are no topics that we will not consider.
That's true.
And so, just let us know. So let's fast forward.
Yeah.
First semester college.
Yeah. So okay.
It gets to be what we get a month in.
Yeah.
We sort of get into the groove of things.
Yep. And we're sitting pretty comfortable.
And so we go, jokingly, would it be cool to start a radio station?
Yeah, start a radio show.
A radio show.
And then, okay, well, we got on topic because we saw other students on TV.
Yes.
Because we have like a news program, and they broadcast that in our cafeteria.
And I had known previously that students had talk shows.
Right, on the radio.
And so we shoot ideas back and forth and go, you know what we should do?
Yeah.
We should do a 2 a.m. radio show.
Yeah.
That all the drunkies...
yeah, because it's a college campus. Kids are going to be coming back drunk, or they're going to be on an all-night study bender.
It's just people that are going to be up late.
Yeah.
Have something stupid and funny, entertaining, just to keep you awake. Just to listen to.
Yeah.
And... originally, the idea was we just do stupid conspiracies.
Yeah.
And that's...
Then we talked about it a little bit more.
We bring on our friends, and what we do is we just throw an idea at them, and they'd have to become an quote-unquote expert on the subject.
Yeah.
And it'd just sort of be like an improv. It'd be a fun thing.
Yeah.
And we're like, that's a great idea. Let's go talk to the radio people.
Yep.
We show up there. No one to talk to. So we go a second time.
Yep.
No one to talk to.
But we get a number the second time.
The second time we get the number.
And then I called that number. I get a voicemail, and it's like, please leave a number, leave your number, and then I will get back to you, yada, 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 when I can, or you can just, leave your information. I was like, all right, hello, yes, I'm trying to get a radio show. We're on this campus, trying to get on this radio station, yada, 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 and I leave my number. I get a call back probably about an hour later, and it's like the woman in charge of, the broadcasting station of, the entire thing. She's like, yeah, you just got to walk in and talk to the people. And I was just like,
we got to interact with people.
And I was like, okay, thank you for that information. Bye. And then I hung up, and I looked at Brendan because I was in your room at the time. And then I was just like, well, we have to go in and talk to the people. And you're just like, we were just there. The doors were closed. And I was just like, I don't know.
And so the next day, I had to go to class. You went by yourself.
Yes.
And talked to them.
Right. And it just didn't really seem like it was going to pan out the way that we wanted to. We probably could have gotten a radio show, but then there was just a bunch of certain
if, ands, or buts about the situation.
And it was just it was a lot to deal with. It probably wasn't a whole lot, but
it was just more than what we wanted. It was as a joke show.
Yeah, So we kind of just went oh, and then a little bit of time passed.
A lot of time passed.
A lot of time did pass, and then kind of just the light bulb went off. I was just like, the internet.
The internet does exist.
Duh. So then I had to think of I'm just we could just do YouTube right away. And I'm just well, that's not really necessarily live, and we wanted it to be live.
Yes.
And I was just had to think about it for a little bit, and then I'm like, Twitch. You can do just about anything on Twitch. It's primarily gaming, but
it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to
as you can clearly see.
Yeah, but and there's podcasts, there's hangout channels, there's a whole lot of stuff on Twitch that isn't pertaining to video games, and I'm just we could probably do that. So then I bring up the idea, and we're just yeah, okay, let's let's bounce around a couple ideas. Let's try it out.
And so from there, we decided we'd still do some of our stupid conspiracies. Yeah, but then we'd also talk about us, talk about just anything.
Whatever
really.
We wanted. We decided to call it a podcast instead of a show.
Yes.
Because that's like podcasts are basically just, talking about whatever. Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
And we decided to keep the whole 2 a.m. talks.
Yeah, because we thought it was like be clever. It's like
like that was the baby.
It'd be like a cryptic thing,
So we kept that, and that turned into the 2 o'clock talks.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's at 2 o'clock, but hey,
it's 2 o'clock.
It's 2 o'clock somewhere.
And so that's kind of our little catchphrase to get around it. It's because
there's never gonna be a perfect schedule where both you and I will make it here at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, especially in the morning. We got it good the first time. We started a little bit late, but it was 2 a.m.
Yes.
The very first time we started.
Which for the first one is all we really needed.
Yeah, that's true. And we didn't even record that one, so that one's not on YouTube, unfortunately.
Which is a shame, but at the same time, not.
Yeah,
because that was...
it was kind of a mess.
We were learning to use the software.
Yeah, we were getting used to Twitch and how it works and stuff like that.
And it was just a mess all the way around.
Yeah.
But at least that time we weren't interrupted.
True.
Or was no?
That was the one time.
We were interrupted.
Because we ended the stream, and then
they left.
Yeah, we had. Yeah.
For those of you who were here for that,
you a real one. You get it.
Yeah, you understand. And so that was how 2 o'clock talks was born.
Yeah, essentially, it was just, I guess too long didn't read. It was 2 college kids wanted a radio show, too much effort, go to the internet, turn it into a podcast.
Yeah, and then with that we're like, if we're doing streams, we can record it and put it on a YouTube channel.
Yep.
And so then we started our YouTube channel.
Yep.
And then we're like, well, we're going to need somewhere to advertise this, so we started a Twitter account.
Yep.
No one's following that except the 2 of us and now one other person. So if any of y'all have Twitter, or even if you don't, you can go and make a Twitter account just to follow us. It may not be, useful.
Yeah.
But it would certainly make us feel good.
It's a great way to know, because what we've been doing is I've had people just hey, will you let me know when you're about to go live? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I'll just send them a text right before.
Yeah, so we message people that we know about it.
Yeah.
The thing is, on the Twitter, every time before we go live, we'll tweet. Then we'll tweet when it's over, when things get published to YouTube.
Yep.
With that, you can tweet ideas at us. From there, we plan on having some polls up on the Twitter.
Yep.
About ideas for the show.
Yep.
And that's just that's where our announcements, our alerts, that's where our primary outer communication will be.
Yeah, it's through Twitter.
If you enjoy listening to us, or if you think other people might enjoy listening to us, please look us up on Twitter. That's where we will be.
At 2 Talks.
At 2 Talks.
Yeah, here, I'll just pull it up right now. The slideshow's been running basically non-stop.
I'll put it in the chat as well. Couldn't think of what the word for that is.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got it up right there. Look at that. So it's got our goofy little.
Oh, come on!
Did it not work the way?
No, I spelled it wrong.
That's pretty silly. It's on screen right now. We have 6 tweets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I'm going to do right now too, since we have some time?
What?
I am going to change our title.
What title?
For our YouTube, because right now we have episode 1 and episode 2. I'm just gonna pop open Photoshop.
Oh, okay.
Change it to episode 3.
For those of you who haven't seen our Photoshop episodes, that is the first episode on our YouTube currently. It was our first actual good stream, if you could call it that.
Yeah.
That's where we made our banner and our profile picture.
Yes.
After that, we decided we needed episode covers, and we went back and made those. So if you want to check us out, see the process of making our pictures, check out our old videos. If you enjoy it, you could maybe like those. You don't have to, of course.
Yeah.
But check it out. It was a fun time.
It was. It did. I think it worked out really great. These colors.
And if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, it's just 2 O'Clock Talks on YouTube. That's where we put all of our videos. Right now, none of them are changed. It's exactly what you see on the live stream. Eventually, here we will be getting video editing software.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to cut these up, make them a little bit more clean for when we put them on YouTube. That way, it's a different experience. You get the live experience on Twitch.
Yeah.
And you get the more put together YouTube experience with those videos. But as of right now, we don't have that.
Yeah. So you just get it basically.
If you miss us, you can see pretty much the exact same thing.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. Another thing that we talked about doing with this is we don't have anything set up for it, so it probably is way down the future. Actually playing video games when we talk.
Oh yes. So hopefully we'll have videos like that. Right now, we can't play computer games because the only thing we have are laptops, and they're not enough processing power.
No, you can't. We can't stream live to the internet and get a solid game going. We could probably pull up Solitaire or Minesweeper.
Minesweeper, yes.
Just make it.
But the plan will be to use our Xboxes.
Yep.
And we figured out it works about 50% of the time.
Yeah.
To stream from the Xbox
to the computer. And then the computer
to the internet.
Right. So we're still play testing with that really hard.
So,
but we wanted more of a focus on podcast.
Yeah, so that'll sort of just be game in the background.
Yeah, so we're doing really soft games like Minecraft. I'm not gonna necessarily say these are soft games, but these are games that we can focus more on commentary rather than gameplay.
It's nothing like Doom where we have to be focused at all times.
So Minecraft we talked about. Stardew Valley we talked about.
Just some of those more mellow games.
Yeah, games that you can
survival sort of games.
Yeah, you just kind of hang out, really nothing super intense.
Something that we can play and hold real conversations.
Right.
So again with that, if there are games you want to see us play,
perfect.
Remember these aren't necessarily playthroughs yet. Eventually, we might do playthroughs, but those will be on our YouTube, not live streams. For live streams, they will be podcasts with videos.
Right.
So, with that in mind, you can let us know what you'd want to see while we're talking. And maybe down the line, we'll get to playthroughs if you guys are interested in seeing what that might be like.
Yeah, for sure.
If that is, look us up on Twitter, let us know.
Yeah, we got a lot of big future plans. So I hope we stick with.
Yes.
And if we don't stick with it,
so be it. You guys hold us to it. If you guys want this to keep going, let us know. We'll be here as long as you guys want to listen.
Yeah, that's true. And people have tuned in. As far as I can tell, people have tuned in. Yeah. So even just stopping by for 10 minutes, that's enough for me to just
it warms our hearts that you guys want to listen to us.
It's
banter
enough
back and forth.
It's enough to just go yep, let's just stick with it.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's a good time.
Yeah.
But we have been going for an hour and 3 minutes at this point.
I was going to say, we kind of hit a lull in the conversation. You can tell. So I was about to point that out and say you think it's pretty good.
Yeah, this seems like a good place to end as any.
Yeah, you want to figure out where it's 2 a.m. right now.
We'll check
right
that
as we're
again.
ending. It's
just as we're winding down, for those of you who sat through the whole stream, thank you.
Appreciate it.
We love the support.
Thank you for sitting through the whole stream, Brendan.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Yes.
Thank you a ton for sitting through the whole thing. For those of you who didn't see the whole thing, if you want to see what you missed, this video will be going up on YouTube. It should be there about 20 minutes after we finish this stream.
Yep.
And remember, if there's anything you want to see or anything you just want to say to us, you can comment on our YouTube channels. You can message us here in the chat room. Or, as we've stated probably more times than we should, look us up on Twitter. We will be there.
We will
and
be
we
there.
will listen to what you have to say. If there's anything you want to hear us talk about, let us know.
Yes. It just hit 10 a.m. exact, our time.
Yeah.
Which means it just became
10 p.m.?
Yeah, 10 p.m. our time, which means it just became 2 a.m. in Cabo Verde.
I have no idea where that is.
Somewhere in the middle of the... Oh my gosh, I don't want to embarrass myself. I'm pretty sure that's the Pacific. In between the...
Please tell me you didn't call the Atlantic Ocean the Pacific Ocean.
Is that the Atlantic Ocean?
Is it in between the United States and Europe/Africa?
Yeah.
That's not the Pacific Ocean.
It's the Atlantic. You know, I took a bet. And then
it didn't pay off.
It really didn't.
The risk you took was calculated.
But man, am I bad at math. So, okay. I really wish now we had really good editing software. I just cut that out.
Yeah, we don't. So that's going to permanently be part of the experience.
That's okay. People have to know that I don't know my geography.
But all right. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
We will,
hopefully you'll stop by next time.
Hopefully
we didn't drive you away.
Yeah, we will see you next time. Which,
yes.
Of course, we will be letting most of you know via our typical alerts. But
yes.
as we stated, Twitter will be our main source for that.
Eventually, we're going to have to move away from telling people. And it's just going to be on Twitter.
Yes. So if you want to cut to the chase and get straight to there, go on and follow us.
Yeah, at Two Talks.
Because eventually we will stop messaging individuals. It does take quite a bit of time before we start the stream to do that.
Yeah. So it'll just be Twitter, and then we'll start probably 5 minutes after that. So.
Yep. So thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next time.
Yes.
And remember, everyone,
it's always 2 o'clock somewhere.